control of this entire former building, replacing each and every wall with their own. And they're in a pretty good spot. They're center circle, somewhat center circle, not obviously dead center. And hopefully the circle rotates and comes their way. They get a little luckier.
And Levin mentioned this last, or just the previous portion of the broadcast as well. Almost every single member here having a sniper inside the inventory, where snipers just drop down on the side, just because a lot of the loot pools removed, a lot of the power items you must have aren't there. You can get a little bit more creative. You can have the room to have snipers in your inventory. So the free pick could be an easy, big 300 damage straight to the head. But as of right now, it looks like there's not too many people peeking over. They're used to being this passive inside this portion of the game.
Indeed. And they're going to actually try and do the exact play Shadow just kind of mentioned, see if they can get a quick pick with that snipe. Instead, nothing coming just yet. They're going to be content trying to see if they can get some long-range picks. But one thing I've seen from this duo is the aggression. I've been really, really impressed by how aggressive they're playing. They're playing very, very hungry. A lot of W key behavior from these two, and why not? You have so much confidence. They're actually going to opt for an early rotation here before, so hopefully hoping that they can avoid the madness of a late rotation, especially given that, you know, mobility is certainly not as strong as it once was with the removal of the Rift Fish and the Shockwave Grenade. So they're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, tarping their way in, and they should be able to do it successfully.
They'll get all the way in. It's gonna be expensive though. You mentioned that tarp, and right now it's actually gonna be blocked as well by one individual in the way. Cop though gets bopped and then scooped up as well, so they get to have all the loot available to them. Team Natch and Flight all the way up top, and a few layers, and on the side another demon. Looks like it's Scott. Is going to be looking to just bar these guys off and pay attention to what they're doing. Rox is here as well with AJ moving right over. So AJ, Agers, Ajo, a lot of different names. You got to keep track and be on your feet, follow to make sure you're not confusing any of them.
Yeah, and honestly, what they're doing is making our jobs very difficult. It's very difficult. This alliteration is driving me insane.
Oh, here we go.
Joking. A lot of A's indeed, but here comes the 2v1 push from the two of them. They're doing such a good job pushing together, holding hands, and making sure that they can peek together and try to trade shots together. And that is just tried and true Fortnite, tried and true esports, to be honest with you. They have that numbers advantage. They recognize they have that numbers advantage, and they're trying to take it. Meanwhile, Ghost Camera is going to show you some other action ensuing with Slays & Co. As it looks like Snacky and Slays will find themselves in a pretty decent low ground spot with people right above them. Need to be careful. They got some noisy neighbors knocking.
Now, lever shotgun. At the same time, we have that legendary heavy AR. I feel like Snacky doesn't want to take every fight possible right now, but wants a very good elevated position in one of these later zones to deal the damage with this loadout. Gonna have to be passive to get there though, but look at this opportunity. Look at the window, literally, of opportunity right now. If he edits this and gets that big shotgun shot, he goes to the snipe, and oh my god, it's there on the Jays. That one, I did not expect at all. That was a very risky option. Pays though, tenfold. They get that body too. They get extra shields. He has to break down though. Snacky actually ends up getting knocked and almost eliminated, but Slays is there to save him.
High risk, high reward with that sniper shot, or I can use this as an opportunity to say my favorite thing while casting, which is, Shayo, you got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes. Unfortunately, that biscuit will turn sour as Snacky gets taken out right after, leaving his teammate Slays alone, as Impure is just going to harpoon his way to some loot. And now Impure and Dark Homie Slicey, this duo, still alive and well. Look at their overall inventory. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I actually think they're scratched up heavily. Finally ended up using all of those harpoon shots over all. The AR isn't there as much either, so I feel like this is good. 100% Fallout. They got all that loot, but they need more if they want to have a full complete game.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, some loot would be beneficial for the late game push. They're sitting okay from a Matt's perspective, and of course well above the damage threshold. They should be all right. Meanwhile, Saf, the one and only Safarooney and Liquid Straffy, I like that. Straffy, beautiful duo here. They're going to win themselves another lobby. So far we've seen Hen and Chapix win a lobby coming from Europe. We've seen Saf and Strafe do it as well. So far, so good from some of our top performers that we're used to seeing perform in DreamHack.
Yep, Stretch and Saf are going to be looking really good overall with momentum. Every time these guys start off a competition hot, they end up getting even hotter as those games go on. Just remember that this is game number 1 of the semifinals, just one of the lobbies that we're going to be watching here today. And it's about to enter that end game as this half and half closes in to make that fully small circle. DJ and Angels are still so healthy, so good on map management as well, and are controlling layer after layer, but Rox, like a rat, has come through the back and is looking for shots. DJ losing all his shield, has to reallocate, has to stop being so aggressive, We were talking about that aggression fallout. If they make a mistake like that again, I mean, he's not at 100 shields anymore. It could be fatal.
Yeah, especially if you take a look at the top left of your screen with 47 players still remaining in the lobby. You get taken out now, you're not getting a whole lot to walk home with in terms of placement points. So you got to be careful. You got to play wise. You want to play aggressive. You want a W key in early game and mid game. But when it comes to late game, you're bound to find a couple picks if you just survive. You got to prioritize placement at this point in the game, in my opinion. But instead, it's going to be another pick coming through for Degen. He's going to get one tagged up quite a bit. He could use that siphon really badly right now as he's tagged up quite a bit. Finally, going to be able to heal back up and reset. Meanwhile, his teammate Agers is currently elsewhere. Needs to be really, really cautious and try to regroup if they can. They did such a good job staying together before Shio. You want to see them regroup again.
Yeah, this is just very dangerous. And a nice elevated box to rotate from there, but 2 gas canisters and then a car explosion breaks their base apart. Luckily, though, they end up finding each other. A big bouncer coming in all the way, actually elevating them one more layer higher as well. You can see Lonely actually invading a different tarp, getting some huge frags, and at the same time, map refreshers as well as they move on. Everyone right now is just forced in a straight line across, and no one is making any moves for height. Perv is still holding it all the way up top with his duo, Matthew. Past that, though, Agers and Degen are looking to make their next move.
Yeah, kudos to them for maintaining high ground, but I gotta say, kudos to Degen and Agers as well. That goes to show what Shio said earlier. These two have been playing together as a duo for such a long time, and their teamwork, their chemistry is so beyond impressive. The fact that they were able to find each other on that rotation, especially without shockwaves and what you're typically used to seeing on rotations, is impressive. They continue to showcase the chemistry that they've developed as a duo for so long.
But right now, it's all about just stopping, assessing what happens next, and then moving after the fact. We're looking at the zone as well. Everyone is just literally hanging on the edge of a mountain, at the edge of a gorge, a big chasm down below. If you make one mistake, Snipebacks, this is not a time to go down to fall damage. Here's Degen and Agers, though. Somehow gained height, Hervey forced down, and they are beaming the rest of the server. There's no chance for survival. Ravs barely being able to actually live with any amount of HP, and they've split it apart as well. This is going to be some cookie cutter height of Fortnite.
Yeah, cookie cutter, just like the term I always use, which is like shooting fish in a barrel, which is an old adage as a caster, but that's literally what's happened right now for Degen and co. They just have a free range, a free firing at everyone in the lobby, and we've been watching them throughout the entirety of this game. I'm so glad that it's ended up this way, because it goes to show how good they truly are. Not only do they dominate the early game, but the fact that they're able to take high ground and maintain control and now put themselves in a perfect position to close this one out just says a lot about this duo, doesn't it, Shio?
Absolutely, and right now they're going to be even more dangerous than that 300-foot drop. All these low ground duos have to deal not only with that, pressure from high ground, but a river down below as well. Ask going down, Andy taken off by the storm as well. Chewy and Donnie are still alive, but barely even holding it together at the front. They're fragmented in shields. They don't have white HP for heals at all either. Degen is still spraying down from above, not stopping and letting anyone breathe. Look at them all forced together. Look at all those fragmented HP bars. It's a mess down below, but so clean on height.
Clean for Degen and Agers, who have continued to play so incredibly well as a duo. And look how everyone is tagged up below them. All they have to do is shoot someone in the ankle, and they're bound to get at least 2 or 3 eliminations. Agers finds one, Degen looking for another, and now, much like a predator hunting their prey, they are just dropping on the gazelles one by one, taking every single person out as they are proving that they are the alpha. They are the king of this lobby. That's going to be 2 eliminations picked up for Degen. Make it a 3rd. No, not yet. He's bound to get it momentarily.
He's just held back slightly, has the mats, has the power to wrap up this game. OMG, Me Too goes down in the last zone. Another big pack blaster gets blasted all the way down on low ground. 2v1 for the finale of game number 1 on NA East. Chewy, one wall separates him and the victory royale. He escapes up top, but the timer is ticking. Agers and Degen are on your wall, and they've done it all in this game. Oh my goodness, 17 eliminations and the victory royale. That was a perfect performance.
Unbelievable showing from start to finish. Well, guess what? They're going to start this broadcast off the right way in our semifinals. It's going to be hard to top it as Degen and Agers do it big.